Crazy. Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United 3, Brighton 0, and United go through to the Carabao quarterfinals. Well done Ollie, well done the players. I was very pleased with that tonight from United. And look, you know what the big thing is, and I think we've seen it again, and this is why transfers are so very, very important for United, is that look, what did we see in that game? I thought we saw a poor performance from Dan James, Ighalo, and Scott McTominay in the centre defensive midfield position. I think we all saw that. And then I think we saw the substitutions happen, and I think we saw better players come on the pitch, and United suddenly took control of the game tactically. Possession, I thought it was bang on from United. So are we not in the same position we were in last summer in June and July after lockdown, when we played Brighton, one of the games in early July I think it was, but a few others, Bournemouth, Aston Villa, where the first team played very well, and then you bring the Ighalos on and the McTominays on and the Dan Jameses on, and suddenly we play very, very poorly. And this is why we need investment in the squad, and this is why this Sancho, Dembele, Tellez thing over the next few days is so important, because the backup bench players just aren't good enough. And I think Donny van der Beek, just to emphasise this point, this is the proof in the pudding for you. Forget Ollie, forget certain players for a minute. Donny van der Beek is the player that proves the point. In the first 65 minutes, Donny van der Beek looks a good player on the ball who can't do 1-2s. Matta's too far away from him. Dan James, Ighalo, Fred and McTominay are the closest players. And he can't do anything. You know, he can't get on the ball. He can't get shooting opportunities. Ighalo and Dan James come off. Rashford and Pogba come on. Donny van der Beek's got an assist in no time and suddenly, is a contender for man of the match. And that's the thing. You know, you got to feel sorry for Donny van der Beek for the first 65 minutes like you did against Luton last week. You can see the class. You can see the quality of the player. But if he doesn't get to play with decent players, you can't do anything. You know, Ighalo's the invisible man. And, to a certain extent, so were Fred and McTominay. Brighton got through that midfield so many times. So, look, the funny thing is, I was just having a look on social media before I came live, and I'm seeing people like saying, imagine what this manager could do with this team, and, it's a shame that Ollie's in charge. And I just think, you know what? People are going to think that. I'm not arguing about that. I'm not going to argue about that. But in the last 25 minutes, when Pogba and Rashford come on the pitch, and you see Mata and Van der Beek and Pogba and Rashford and even Dalot getting forward. Brandon Williams didn't do it tonight, but Dalot, I think defensively was very poor, but he did get forward quite well. You see the little triangles, you see the pass and move, you see the breaking of the lines, you see Brighton being stretched here, there and everywhere, and you think, well, look, oh, here we go again. That, we can't give the coaching staff any credit because the players are just doing it for themselves. But when they play badly, let's put it on the coaching staff. We clearly do have a shape as a team. It's 4-2-3-1 a lot of the time, and on the attack it becomes a 4-1-1-3-1. I can see the shape, I can see the triangles. I just don't think we've got the quality of player to do it. And the brilliance of bringing a Jadon Sancho in is that Jadon Sancho, to me, is basically sort of, yeah, he can do the skill bits, but he's also a little bit like a fast matter. He's got the little give and goes. He's got the eye for a pass. That's not what Sancho is. He's not just a fast matter, but he is a very good player at give and go, making clever little runs, the little turn and spin. And Jadon Sancho will bring us that sort of quality as well. So, look, I just think, that's a really good result for Manchester United tonight. And I certainly think that what I really liked about Ollie, and I even tweeted it myself, I felt that tactically, and some people will get this and some people won't, but what I said is that after the first 20 minutes of the second half, Brighton brought on Trossard and Maupay, and they were getting more and more of the ball. They were breaking through Fred and McTominay and getting at our back four a lot. And I think that's credit to people like Eric Bailly and Lindelof to a certain extent, that they didn't really get that many shots on Henderson, because I don't think the fullbacks defended that well. But what I said is, Ollie needs to make these subs quick, and Ollie normally waits till 75 minutes. He did it on 65 minutes, and that, to me, won us the game. So Ollie learnt something there, and he is still learning in the job. And look, if you want to say, oh, Pochettino is one of the latest substitution managers out there. You speak to a Spurs fan, he was infuriating on how long he took to do subs. And Ollie is a little bit like that. But tonight, on 65 minutes, the chances of Brighton scoring were probably 70% and 30% us. They had so much of the ball and they were getting so close to our goal, they had way more chance of scoring than us. We make the subs, Rashford, Pogba come on, and suddenly it's not 70% chance they're going to score anymore. dips into our favour and then we score it. Those substitutes change the momentum of the game. That's what you want your manager to do, and it also gave us a platform with better players. So look, I it's reserves against reserves. I take that on board. It's the Carabao Cup. I take that on board. This is not the Champions League against Bayern Munich. If it was, we would have lost that game 10-0 with that team, to be honest with you. But it's not. You play the circumstance. The confidence that, Pogba's free kick was deflected, but he was smiling. The confidence of Pogba, Donny van der Beek progressing and adapting more to the team. Rashford looked lively when he came on. Mata did well. Eric Bailly was superb. So we took some positives from that game. Dean Henderson made a very good save as well. I'm pleased with that. And I think the great thing about that is that now we're through in the Carabao Cup. We did do really well. Now let's go and get this bloody transfer business done. Let me just speak. Player ratings, if you want to do the player ratings, theunitedstand.com, you've still got time to do them. Mark them out of 10, 6 being average. Put a star next to your man of the match. We're going to go through that in a minute. But I just want to focus on transfers for a moment because there is some news that's been coming in through the game that you might not be aware about. Let me just read these super chats though. Vicky Kumar says, "Hi Mark, good performance, but we need new players. I don't care about the performance. We need more players." Exactly. Absolutely spot on, Vicky. Welcome to the Members Club, Lee Whitehouse. Sean Finity, Ricky's argument will be that we've kept another clean sheet with James on. Ricky's going to be half and half scarf, isn't he? He's going to be Mata on that side and he's got to defend Dan James on this side, who I don't care. Look, Dan James hasn't got football intelligence. He can learn it, but is he going to learn it on our bench? Maybe the loan deal would be a good idea for Dan James because he's just not. It's not going well for him, at the moment. But we'll talk about that on the player ratings. If we had Sancho, Greenwood could have played striker. Come on, United, get it done, says Chase Bergner. We can only rate Ighalo if he gets to play with Pogba, Bruno, Rashford, Matic and others first-team players. He gets no service, to be fair, just running around, says Joseph Lackey. I disagree with you on that, mate. Ighalo's awful. He's been awful for a very long time. He doesn't hold the ball up. He doesn't look very quick. And look, you can say play with better players. He gets a ball into his feet in the first half on the edge of the box. It's a simple 2-yard layoff to Van der Beek and he's going to score. He hits it 4 yards. That's your touch, mate. It's not... Ighalo has got to do better than that. There was numerous times he should have scored as well. He's got to score. He rounds the keeper with his right foot and you put it in with your left foot. He didn't play well tonight. Don't understand the negativity against Ollie. It's a cup tie. We were scrappy, but we won comfortably. The reserves are a drop off. We already know that. Now let's see if Ollie gets Sancho or Woodward. Let's get Dembele. Mate, I don't understand the Ollie out stuff. I think it's wasted energy. If people want to do that, that's up to you. But it ain't happening. It's not even on the agenda at United. So I feel you're wasting your energy, and I think that energy, if you have negative energy, should be aimed at the people above Ollie who have caused us to have this ridiculous transfer window that we're having. But what I did see from United is that Paul Pogba looked a lot sharper. I think Bruno looks sharp. So these players are starting to get sharper now, and we will play better with sharper players. Kind of random this, but some fans are saying that Rashford back injury is a valid excuse for him being below par for months. I don't buy it, says Ewan97. I think we need a backup striker. I prefer Luka Jovic as a backup striker, says Mavus. I would love us to get Jovic in. We do need a backup striker. It worries me that if Martial gets injured, we don't get Sancho. We've got to play Ighalo up front. At least if we get Sancho in and Martial's injured, Greenwood can play up front. Matthew Gartel, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Lindelof and Bailly looked solid, says JB. Mark, regarding Sancho, you're contradicting yourself here. Here's why. You're 90% confident, but you say United won't pay £108 million. Please explain, says Amel. Well, it's not a contradiction. It's you not using your ears, because I've said this numerous times, and I'm sure many people in the live comments would tell you this. I don't think Manchester United will pay £108 million for Jadon Sancho, but I am 90% sure we will sign him, because I think, and pretty much I'm sure, that Borussia Dortmund will let us pay 90 million if we give them 20 million next summer. So we won't pay 108 million now. Delo is not a fullback, he's a midfielder, says OTM Shag. I mean, look, Shag, not Shag. Mind wanders. Delo going forward looks good. Way better than Wan-Bissaka. Delo defensively is awful. Magic Eye, don't let this result fool you. We will not make top 4 this season. We played 5 at the back against the first team. Let's get in Sancho first, says Magic Eye. I don't think anyone's talking about top 4, to be fair. And what are the chances we get Sancho and then Dembele on loan, says It's a Duck. DJ was making the runs and no attempt to find him. Even commentators picked up on it. Funny how he plays well for Wales. He would do well at Leeds, says Real Deal. And Mark, Ollie needs to run Man United like you run the United Stand, like Vince McMahon. Rule with an iron fist, says Tony Michaels. Well, I don't know about that. Let me just talk about the transfer thing for a moment, because somebody said, what are the chances of us getting Sancho and Ousmane Dembele? Can I just say to you this? On Ousmane Dembele, I don't care whether he is the alternative to Sancho, whether we get Sancho and him, whether we get Sancho, Sarr and him. I don't want Dembele. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I do not want it. I think it's absolute desperation. He doesn't want to come to the club. Liverpool couldn't even convince him to come to the club, apparently. I don't even know if that's true, but he wants to stay at Barcelona. If he leaves Barcelona, it's because Barcelona don't want him because they want Memphis Depay. He doesn't want to leave. Romano said this today. He doesn't want to leave. So we are desperately trying to get a player who doesn't want to leave. Does that remind you of somebody? Di Maria. But the difference with Dembele is he's not Di Maria. He's not playing like Di Maria. He's not in form like Di Maria. And he's not injury-free like Di Maria. He's basically Di Maria and Phil Jones' love child. He's injury-prone. He's missed 53 games in the last year and a half. And half of that time has been COVID and off-season. 53 games. Like, he's massively injury-prone. There are massive, massive question marks over his mentality and his ability. And he's only 23 and he's got hamstrings like breadsticks, as I said. We shouldn't be anywhere near this deal. I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants this deal. I think this is Ed Woodward again doing deals where I couldn't get you this, but look what you've won. This is not an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signing because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has quite accurately demonstrated that he wants players at this club who want to be at this club. And Ousmane Dembele doesn't want to be here. So why are we going back to doing signings like we used to do 3 or 4 years ago under Van Gaal, where we buy a player on reputation and name, but we don't actually scratch the surface of the fact that they don't want to be here? And actually, I don't care if he's Lionel Messi. I don't care if he's Cristiano Ronaldo. I wouldn't want him at the club with that injury record. That injury record is terrifying. It's not even a risk. It's an absolute, you may as well get your medical insurance done. And also, if you're going to get a player with that sort of an injury record, you better have one of the world's best medical people. We don't. We're rubbish. This deal shouldn't happen in any circumstance. It really shouldn't. It's a risk of the highest order. And if you're trying to close a gap on Liverpool and Man City, you don't make those risks. It's a terrifying deal. It's all kinds of wrong. The thing that worries me is that Fabrizio Romano is saying that we're actually looking to do it. So that we obviously are. And this is why we need a director of football. Because I believe we're going to get Sancho and I don't think we're going to get Ousmane Dembele. I think it's a smokescreen, whatever. It won't happen. But the terrifying thing is, we're obviously considering it. And that's the thing. These people in charge of our football club and transfers are ridiculously, terribly bad. They're rubbish. They're absolutely rubbish. Nobody would be anywhere near this deal with a brain. It makes no sense. And the only way we're going to get him to come anyway, because he doesn't want to come, is chuck in a load of money. It's like every bad deal we've done rolled up into one. It's giving him a load of money, Alexis Sanchez, that didn't work out. It's getting a player who doesn't want to be here, Di Maria, that didn't work out. And it's getting a player with a massive injury record, Falcao, that didn't work out. It's like a combination of everything bad we've done over the last 8 years and putting it all together. It's an awful, 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 awful idea. Just go and look at his injury record. I'm not joking. It's like 3 hamstring injuries, 3 muscle injuries. I think he got injured badly in November last year. He came back in February and 2 days later he got injured again and was out till August. That's in the last calendar year. It's a no. It's a big, 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 big no. The risk is way, way too big. But, I reckon we're getting Sancho. I'm 90% sure we're going to get Sancho. And that is the right deal to do. So, yes, let's stay confident. Smash a like on the video if you're watching. We have got a video. I'm going to do the player ratings now. We have got a video coming up for you. An hour transfer chat straight after this. The link is in the video description. It's not time yet. It's not live yet. But we're going to be chatting about transfers straight after this. Because look, we have beaten Brighton in the Carabao Cup. But more important things take precedence now. And that is that Manchester United are wanting to do this deal with Fabrizio, not with Fabrizio Romano, with Jadon Sancho. There is a tweet from Fabrizio Romano that's just come out, actually. I'm just going to read you the core bits of it. Man United have made contact with Barcelona to see if they can sign Ousmane Dembele. United are not entertaining the idea of signing the French international on a permanent deal. It must be a loan deal. And the Old Trafford hierarchy have turned their attentions to Dembele after Dortmund reiterated that they would not listen to any bid lower than 120 million. United would have to pay Dembele his salary in full should they be able to sign him on loan, and they are open to either a straight loan or a loan with an option to buy. United, however, would face an uphill battle to convince the player to move to England. He's determined to stay at Barcelona despite the fact that he has not been able to become a regular starter in their 3 years. The 23-year-old was not interested earlier this summer in moving, and so it's an absolute. I mean, so we've got to convince a player who's injury prone to come and play for Manchester United. We've got to pay all his wages. Don't even tell me what his wages are. If any, what are Ousmane Dembele's wages? Let me just Google this. So we are trying to get a player to come to our club who doesn't want to be here, who's got a worse injury record than a bloody corpse, and we've got to pay all his wages. Let me just tell you what he's on before I do the player rating. Here we go. Weekly wage, Ousmane Dembele, €230,000 a week. So around £200,000 a week. Wow, he's gonna have a good holiday, isn't he? Absolutely. Panic buy. As I said, let's do the player ratings. But to me, Ousmane Dembele is every bad deal we've done moulded together. The injury-prone Falcao, the player who doesn't want to be here, Di Maria, and the ridiculous wages, Alexis Sanchez. It's every bad deal we've done. I tell you what, I'm 90% sure we're going to sign Sancho. That leaves 10%. Let's create a scenario. If we buy Ousmane Dembele instead of Jadon Sancho, then every Man United fan has got to do something on Monday. This would be a farce. And it would be the worst thing we've ever done. Worst thing we've ever done. But I think we're going to sign Sancho. Anyway, let's do the player ratings. Remember, every player marked out of 10. I just need to refresh these. You can do it on theunitedstand.com. You can vote for yours. So let's do the player ratings now. Let's see how many people have voted, first of all. Wow, 8,000 of you have voted so far. So we've got Dean Henderson in goal. These are going to be good player ratings today, you know. Some players played really good. Some players played really bad. So I think it's going to be really good. For me, Dean Henderson gets a 7. 7.4 from you. So, yeah, I don't disagree with that. That save he made was world class. Am I right in thinking it was 1-0 at that point? So, yeah, look, concentration levels. He made a good save last week. Look, I don't agree with this Henderson De Gea thing. To me, I've never known this. 2 very good goalkeepers, 2 very expensive wages goalkeepers. And, De Gea hasn't done anything to get dropped. But Henderson is playing well in the other games. And it's like, what if De Gea makes a mistake against Spurs? Henderson will start, but then what if Henderson makes a mistake against Newcastle? How does a goalkeeper build confidence when any mistake they make, they're going to get kicked out of the team? So long term, I don't like it, but you can't say that Henderson's not playing well, and you can't say that De Gea hasn't improved. So it's interesting. The more interesting thing there on transfers, though, what's happening with Romero? Because Romero's on £80,000 a week. That's more than most Premier League footballers. He's our third choice goalkeeper. We're moaning about not being able to afford Jadon Sancho, but we're paying Romero £80,000 a week. He's got to go. He's a third choice goalkeeper. You can't pay £80,000 a week to a third choice goalkeeper. Dalot to me was a 5. 5.2. I think we're on the same page there, so nothing really needs to be said. Going forward, he always looks like he's capable. Defensively, really bad. I mean, especially at the start of the second half where that player just knocked it past him. I mean, imagine if this was like a first team game. He's going to cost you goals. Hopefully, Brandon Williams will get Tellez, and Brandon Williams will move over to the right-hand side. Eric Bailly, to me, was a 7. 7.5. I've gone a little bit low on a couple of players. Yeah, Eric Bailly, to me, was fantastic tonight. I think we saw the best of Eric Bailly. His concentration was pretty good. His recovery pace is very good. He'll put his body on the line. I think he's got the best mentality in that team. He will chuck his body in anywhere. The question mark about Eric Bailly is his physical fitness and his actual ability. And a lot of you were saying it in the watch along. It'd be interesting to see how good Eric Bailly is if he never got injured. The problem is, you saw that crazy tackle he did, and everyone loved it. that epitomises Eric Bailly. He chucks his whole body into tackles, and that's why he gets injured. He will get injured, unfortunately. So Eric Bailly's not going to be the answer, but he definitely should start against Spurs. But I've got no confidence that he won't get injured, and that's the problem. We'll be back watching Lindelof and Maguire again. Lindelof, to me, I'll give him an average 6. I think some people are running away with themselves that he had a great game. I think Eric Bailly had a very good game, and Victor Lindelof did okay. He was average, in my opinion. He was a 6. Brandon Williams, 5 for me. I don't think he played particularly well defensively, like Delo. I thought he was poor defensively. I don't think he got forward very much. He played a very good pass to Mata in the first half that led to what should have been a goal for Ighalo. But look, the sooner we get Tellez in, the better. We won't see Brandon Williams as a left back anymore, and I think you move him across, and he can become a bit of a challenge for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now this one to me is really interesting. I'm going to give Scott McTominay a 5. See, a lot of people are giving him an average 6, and I think you've got it wrong. I need to look at the live comments. I think you've got it wrong. Scott McTominay played dreadful tonight. He scored a goal from a position he wasn't playing. It was a static free kick. He's a tall player. He times his run. And when he times his run well, it's such a good cross from Mata. Anyone can score that. You just put your head on it. No keeper can save that. You just send it back the way it came. Well done for scoring a goal. But as a centre defensive midfielder, I saw exactly the same performance from McTominay that I saw against Crystal Palace. People run through him like fog. And not fog, air. Because it's easy to run through him. Like, he doesn't protect the back four. He doesn't come for the ball. He's not quick enough on the recovery. People skip past him like he's not there. He's not a centre defensive midfielder. Scott McTominay, to me, needs somebody behind him because people go past him too much. And it can't be the back four because they're thinking about runners and strikers. He's not a CDM. It amazes me that Michael Carrick is an assistant coach at Manchester United, is one of the best CDMs we've seen in Premier League history, and they are flogging a dead horse with McTominay, trying to turn him into something he's not. He's not a CDM. I think he's a box-to-box player. He's even said that himself. He's not a CDM. He hasn't got the ball intelligence. He's not got the speed, and he hasn't got the tackling ability. He's just not a CDM. I thought he was really, really, really poor today as a CDM. I thought it was exactly the same performance as Crystal Palace, which everyone criticised. I don't think he was very good today. So, yeah, 5 for me, but some people have gone with the average 6. Fred, I'd expect more from Fred. 5. I knew people were going to give a 6. I knew it. I knew people would give Fred a 6. And I'm not going to argue too much about it. I just would expect more from Fred. He wasn't the holding midfielder. He was the box-to-box player. And you look at the difference between Fred and when Pogba came on, and it was massive. Fred's got to be more progressive. But what I would say in defence of Fred, and maybe some of you are thinking this as well, who's he got to pass to? Dan James, who's running away from the ball. Ighalo, who can't hold up the ball, but he's still got Van der Beek and Mata. I think you've got to expect more from Fred, to be honest with you, on that one. But look, it's all about opinion. So next we've got Donny Van der Beek. 7.2. Well done, everybody. I agree with you on that one. I thought Donny Van der Beek 7 could have been a man of the match. Could have been a contender, could have been a man of the match, but I think, as I said at the start of the video, Van der Beek struggles from the fact that he's playing with Ighalo and McTominay and Fred and Dan James for 65 minutes. It prevents him from moving up to an 8. But the little flick for Mata's goal was fantastic. Play Donny Van der Beek with our first team, you'll see a fantastic Donny Van der Beek. This is a guy who at Ajax is used to winning the ball back in a press, so he can play in a press. He's used to playing one-touch passing, give and goes. You put him with Bruno, Pogba, Rashford, Martial, Sancho, Greenwood, you're going to see a very good player. Donny Van der Beek, the problem is most of his minutes has been with those reserves who ain't good enough. So a 7 for Van der Beek is probably about right. Dan James, I'd give him a 5. You know what? So a lot of people have given a 4. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. I don't know what we're going to do with Dan James this year because he's not going to get first team football to improve. He's not doing enough in the Carabao Cup games. To me, Dan James to Leeds would be good, but would Leeds start Dan James? I think Dan James needs to start games, and I don't know. I think I know. Look, I think Dan James is a good player. I think he's got the right mentality. but I just don't think he's going to get game time this year. And it's a crucial year for Dan James. So I don't know what United are going to do with him. But again, it just doesn't work. It isn't working, is it? And that's all I can say about that. Juan Mata for me was an 8. And he was my man of the match, by the way. So smash a like on the video if he was your man of the match. I'll give him an 8 for the number 8. The cross was very good. The finish was very good from the fist from the Donny van der Beek assist. That game suited Juan Mata. I mean, he's never going to be a first teamer. He's definitely on the decline. He has been for 2 years. He's losing the pace. He's not going to be any good in a first team Premier League game. But in a Carabao Cup game like that, an FA Cup game, off the bench, Mata can still do a job. He's a quality footballer with a very high football IQ. And today suited him because he was up against a player slower than him. So, it was almost like rolling back the years for Mata because he's normally up against a player that can just sprint him out of the game. So I thought Mata was man of the match today. Give credit where it's due. I thought Mata was fantastic today. Give him man of the match, I would. So I'd give him an 8. Ighalo, my lowest score of the day, 4. Awful performance again. And this is a concern. This is a concern for United because when it comes to Odion Ighalo, when we first got him, we knew it was with Ighalo, we knew it was a risk, didn't we? We knew it was last day of the transfer window in January. In the morning we want Josh King, at lunchtime we want Rondon, and then in the evening it's look we've got Ighalo. It started off looking like a good deal. After lockdown, it looked like a bad deal. After another break, he's come back. It looks even worse. He's gone in 3 months. By the time we get any fitness out of him, he's gone anyway. If there is any possibility of getting Jovic, do it. There isn't. We're not going to have time to do it. The best thing I think we can do is get Sancho so Greenwood could cover up front. But if Martial gets injured, do you want Ighalo starting against Liverpool and Chelsea and Arsenal? It's like playing with 10 men. Same with Luton last week. He is off the pace. And he's not even doing the things you'd want him to do if he can't score, which is hold the ball up. He's doing nothing. So it worries me that Ighalo can't play well against Luton reserves, can't play well against Brighton reserves. What can he offer us in the Premier League in the last 20 minutes? I actually don't want Josh King, but I think he'd give us more than Ighalo. But if Jovic wants to come to the club, which is true, then surely we should be trying to do that as a loan deal because we need a decent striker. We want to be a top 4 team. You can't have one striker. And at the moment, Ighalo is offering absolutely nothing. And the worrying thing is, there's no future in even if he starts to improve, he's gone in 3 months. So, yeah, I don't understand that. I don't understand why fans are negative about Mark's opinion. I'm absolutely with him about 90% club, says Massus. Please sit down and keep positive. People can think what they like. Sorry to say it, but Dan James is not good enough to play for our team, says Toby Walters. If I'm being an honest, Lingard is a better option and he's even better final third. I was surprised Lingard didn't start today, actually. And Dan James might have a better look as a left-back with more time to make crosses from deep, says Don Referee. Please smash a like on the video if you are watching, by the way. Let's see how many we can get. We've got lots of people watching. Remember, we're going to be live straight after this for an hour talking transfer news as well. The link's in the video description with that. But I've got to finish this. So Ighalo was a 4. Pogba, look, he wasn't really on the pitch very long, but I'd give him a 7. Everybody agrees, that's good. Rashford, I'd give him a 6. Wasn't really on long enough. And look, Lingard, give him an average 6. Really wasn't on long enough. Ollie, for me, I'd give him a 7, 6.9. Yeah, I'd give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a 7. I thought that his subs were spot on. When the better team played, you could see the patterns of play. The defensive line was good. The organisation was good. I just think Scott McTominay caused us a lot of problems as a CDM. That was a negative. And Ighalo caused us a lot of problems as a forward. They were the 2 areas that we struggled in. And at the end of the day, if your number 9's not doing a job, and your holding midfielder's not doing a job, it's going to impact on your team's fluidity. And it did. But the substitutions were good. The result was very good. The confidence levels will go up. You could see the team looked a bit sharper. All in all, good performance. Not amazing. Certainly not terrible. Certainly not, Ollie out. He's got no tactics. That's ridiculous. Got the job done. We're in the draw tomorrow. We've got a massive game on Sunday. And let's get some business done because it's already too late. So if I submit my vote, it will do your man of the match. And your man of the match with a huge 65% of the vote is Juan Mata, which is great to see. He was absolutely fantastic in that game. Bay should have been man of the match, says KB. Well, unfortunately, we've had nearly 10,000 people voting. and 65% of those votes, so over 6,000, have voted Juan Mata as their man of the match. So look, Eric Bailly was really good today, and that deserves the credit. He's got, I would say that Eric Bailly's got to start, hasn't he? Eric Bailly has got to start on Sunday. Imagine hiring a director of football for 200k a week rather than Dembele. Also, when we have become a club that loans in players, I hate this entire situation, says Harshad. Jan Åge Fjørtoft is in the 90% club that he stays in Dortmund, live now on Norwegian television, says Rooney. And imagine why is 5 not average? Also, shouldn't it be a bit more objective based on raw stats? I've heard Bruno ratings preceded by his usual standards, says TJ. Mate, if you want something like that, go and find something else. We do what we want on here. We're a community, and you've got 10,000 United fans voting on the player ratings there, and you're moaning about it. Sevilla director of football said United needed one, says Carlos Soles. Yes, please smash a like on the video, by the way, and make sure you subscribe if you're new. I say that because we're only 100 subscribers away from 852,000. In fact, we're not. We're 50. So please subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. We're going to be live a lot over the next few days. A lot. We were live 5 times yesterday. Any big breaking news, we will go live. So make sure you subscribe bottom right-hand corner and you've got your notifications on by clicking the bell, because we will go live and there is so much that's going to happen with United over the next few days. I don't know whether it's going to be happy news. Look, could be Ousmane Dembele. I'm not going to rule it out. Could be Ousmane Dembele and Telles. An absolute shit end to the transfer window. I'm still thinking it's going to be Jadon Sancho. That's what I think. But look, we are where we are with it. That's a really good result for Manchester United tonight. I'm very, very happy with that. And I don't think you can ask for much more. What we do need to ask much more for is Manchester United signing Jadon Sancho. This must happen. It absolutely has to happen. Right, I'm going to jump onto the Sancho or Dembele live stream now, which is on our homepage. We're going to be talking Sancho, Dembele, transfers. Join us for that. I'm going to end this stream and jump onto there. Flex has already started, actually. Join me for that. The next hour, talking about transfers. What is going on. I'll see you on there in a minute. And I think the link's in the video description.